Good evening and welcome to this Shadow Short. I'm Peter Reznicek from the Weekly Options Room and ShadowTrader.net. And we're just going to take a quick look at 4 instruments here that I think are probably on everybody's mind right now, especially just now as the futures have just opened here on Sunday evening. And talking about these in the context of the military action over the weekend of the U.S. striking nuclear sites in Iran. And so we're going to look at equity futures, crude, gold, and Bitcoin. And the initial reaction to this news when things opened up on the 6 p.m. Eastern mark is exactly what you would have expected. But I think that the move afterwards is probably not what people expected. It's a complete lack of follow through, if you will, into those, in those directions. And so let's just start with equity futures, ES. Notice that you gap down here after closing here, and yet what has happened since then? You've just rallied. But more importantly, where have you rallied? You've rallied up through this swing low, and now you're pretty deep into it. So again, there's just no follow through here. I don't know if the market is just too sanguine about all this or is waiting to see if there's retaliation or whatever. But the main thing is that none of this selling is held. It was very knee-jerk, and anybody who hit it early on the open or whatever, or had those orders in that caused that open to be so much lower, it's not working out for them, right? So that's equity futures right there. And just as a kind of a takeaway from this, my main point of reference is going to be this low. And I'm going to be watching to see if we're inside of that Friday's range or not tomorrow morning when we open. All right, let's take a look at crude oil here. Same exact thing in that you would have expected it to gap up higher. Exactly what it did, but again, where's the follow through? Nothing. So will we make a higher low here? Probably, because there's, definitely uncertainty here, and obviously there's the whole Strait of Hormuz thing that always comes up in these conflicts, and the potential for crude prices to go so much higher because 20% of the world's crude moves through that area, and obviously if they shut it down, then that will cause spikes in oil prices. But again, where's the follow through? None. Just gap up and fall. Nothing happening there. All right, let's take a look at gold. Same thing. You would expect what? You would expect gold higher, and it did. Gold gapped up, but what has it done since then? Nothing. Gap up and fall, right? Opens up here, 3,400. We see a rally up to about 3,413-ish, 14, and we just fall. I'm still bullish on gold. I think it's going to continue to have some underpinnings to it for other reasons, not just this type of uncertainty, but obviously what's going on with the debt in America and the sort of slow dripping failure of the dollar as reserve currency around the world, right? I think it's just slowly like losing its power little by little. And last but not least, Bitcoin, you would expect what? I think you would expect a gap down, which is exactly what we got because Bitcoin trades very much like a risk asset with equities. And again, it's the same thing like the ES. What happened? Gap down and rally, similar to equity futures. And so in Bitcoin, my reference point going forward is going to be this low, which I believe is about 103 and change, right? That low is 100 and change, 100,880. And anything above that, to me, implies that Bitcoin will probably continue to catch a bid and kind of float up in this direction, right? So the main takeaway here in this short video is just that for now, nothing is rattling this market really in a bigger way. There's some knee-jerk reactions in futures that you're seeing in overnight action, and you're seeing it during the day as well whenever news comes out, where you see algorithmically driven trading, so to speak, that is kind of, parsing the news flows for this stuff, and boom, it hits it hard, and it tends to come right back, or vice versa, right? You often you're getting strength in the morning and then peeling off later. But in the bigger picture, especially in keeping with equities, nothing's really changed, right? This is just a very, very slow dribble lower, and just the fact that we're back inside Friday's range again, that's going to be my key tomorrow to see if we can still rally, if we're holding within range. All right, that's all. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Be safe out there. Hey, this is Peter from ShadowTrader.net, and I just wanted to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this content, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. And if you'd like to trade live with me every day in my weekly options advisory, then check out the link in the description below. I wish you good trading, and I'll see you in the room.